What is up guys, welcome back to Mr. Tech Boss. As you can see, I'm running Posp and this is Potato OS or something like that. I don't know the exact name, but anyway, without any further ado, let's get into this. Alright, so guys, before we get started, please make sure to subscribe and like this video, and if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments, or you can also contact me for more specific questions on my Telegram group, which is linked down in the description. But with that said, let's move on to the basics. So as you can see, it is Potato open source project, and that's what this POSP stands for. And as you can see, it's running the June 5th patch, which is not the latest, but that doesn't really make a big difference. And the kernel is perfect kernel, so it's not MNC or F1XY. So if you want a bit of a smoother performance, I recommend switching to MNC. With that being said, now let's move on to the customization. So what you need to do is go ahead into Fries, or you can also go ahead and open this Fries app from, it's an app actually, so just open it. And then what you need to do is, there are a bunch of options. So let's go to quick settings first. So you have options for example, turning on this tile disco, which basically randomizes the color of these each individual tiles, and you have an option to turn, toggle, or customize the quick setting panel's opacity. So let's see if it works. And as you can see, it does not appear to work for me. So yeah, this option is still, I guess, broken. But yeah, now if we move on, there are a bunch more options here. So you can customize the number of tiles in the rows, columns, and on landscape and portrait. But yeah, that is some basic settings which are on many other ROMs. Now moving on to gestures, they've neatly arranged them and changed the toggles, which are like great and neat little additions. So you have options to hide the pill, and then to customize its length. And if you're using the 3-button navigation for whatever reason on your Redmi K20 Pro, you can switch their positions of the back and recents button. And then you also have options for customizing the power menu. Now if we move on to themes, this is where the basic theming happens. And so you can customize the accent color, you can toggle or change the icon shape, you can change the icon pack, which is like, for example, these status bar icons. And then you can also change the theme mode, which for now let's just leave it dark. And then this is what it's different. So if you change the volume panel to AOSP, it looks like normal, and then if you choose compact, it looks very minimal, and then you can tap it to expand it. And then if you go into Oreo, it hasn't updated yet, it comes on the top, and then you can tilt it, you can choose to tilt it, which is what I've done. It looks a bit different and I guess a bit cooler. But yeah, and now moving on to status bar, there are a bunch more options here too. So you can toggle Posp swag, which basically enables this icon if you want, and then you have more options here and there. And by the way guys, this is not an official build, it is an unofficial build, but basically it's identical to the official one. Now other than that, as you can see, you can pause the video to go through these options. I don't want to go through each and every, because for some users it does feel a bit boring. You can skip through this if you want to, but yeah, these are the options. You can customize a lot of things in the status bar. Now moving to lock screen, you have a few options here. Mostly the most important is this one, lock screen clock. So these are the options to choose from. You can choose anyone, obviously. Let me show you guys this one. So this is how it looks. I don't personally like this one, but if you do, it's up to you. But yeah, now moving on, there is miscellaneous, which is basically this option. I don't know what exactly it does. If you do know it, let me know in the description. But yeah, with that being said, now let's move on to some other things. So now if you are installing or want to install this ROM, you obviously want Wi-Fi working. And for me right now, it's not working. But so the first thing you need to do is toggle it on in network settings. So go here and then Wi-Fi calling, and just toggle it on for preferably both SIMs. But yeah, then as you can see, for me as of right now, it's not working. I'm connected to a Wi-Fi network, and then if I call this, as you can see, it's not working for me. But I've talked to the dev about this, so there is a simple fix for it. I haven't applied it yet because just I don't have enough time. But what you can do is just join my group in the description, and I'll give you this APK. And so I talked to the dev, so he said you have to basically put this Wi-Fi, this carrier config APK in place of, you have to replace it with the original one. So the original one is in place of products and private app and higher config. So you basically replace the APK that's there with this one. You can do it with a root browser or with TWRP or of Orange Fox recovery. So yeah, and then it should hopefully work. Now guys, let's quickly do a fingerprint speed test. I'm gonna open it, unlock it a bunch of times, and to be honest, I did feel the fingerprint is pretty fast. Maybe not as fast as HavocOS, which is just super fast. If you're wondering why you're not getting too fast fingerprint speeds, that is because you have to just tap it like a little bit, just not tap, just hold it a little longer, and then you can do the same while adding the fingerprint, and then it's going to be pretty fast. So as you can see right now, I just tap it for like, I don't know, 100 milliseconds, 200 milliseconds, and then it unlocks. And if you tap it longer, it will still unlock, but then it feels a bit slower. So just tap it like a little bit, and then it does unlock. And now moving on, the camera that comes by default sucks. You have to install ANX, manually just flash the zip. I haven't done that yet, but you can just use Gcam if you want to, which is what I am doing. And guys, now is the most important part, and that is performance. And to be honest, I did feel it's not on par with some of the ROMs, for example, say HavocOS. It is just like, for example, sometimes when opening the notification panel there are stutters, and sometimes when opening settings there are stutters. Like basically when sometimes you unlock the phone real quick and then you open this notification panel, you feel that it's not 60 FPS. It is a bit slower, like it is probably like around 40 to 50 FPS. So there are sometimes frame drops, but if you can ignore those, which I don't think you can or want to, if you're using USB at least, then you can stay on this ROM. But to be honest, as of right now, there are frame drops, but other than that, this ROM is almost perfect. Like it's a really good vanilla ROM. So I'm gonna do a quick super fast app opening test. So in the first round, I just open the apps slowly and let them load, but that's not what I'm doing. So let's get some apps here. So for example, let's get Ampere here, and why not get Telegram here as well, because I use this a lot. So let's put this here. So now let's open these apps, and then as you can not see, I can see it because I'm now recording in 60 FPS, but I can already see there are some frame drops. You can try using a overclocked display, which I personally don't recommend because it does leave a little yellowish tint even after you disable it. For personally, I do have uneven yellowish tint that can only be seen at night, but yeah, you don't want that happening. So I can tell you guys, it is not that smooth. So for example, if I compare it to HavocOS or even say extended UI, it's not that smooth, and that is the only issue I have with it as of right now. So if I do some multitasking real quick, and in general, like for performance, like sustained performance should be equal to other ROMs, but like quick frame drops and stuff, that might not be equal to some other ROMs out there. But yeah, I hope you get the idea. And for you guys who want to use banking apps, I am glad to say that you can do that. So just as you can see, it does pass CTS profile and basic integrity, and then you can use magic hide to hide it from some apps, some banking apps, and then also go here and then enable this magic hide, and then if it still doesn't work, just hide magic manager, press hide magic manager here. I've already done that, that's why it says restore, and then after that just reboot and then see if banking apps work for you, and that they should work. But yeah, if you're still watching, thank you. And if you like my work and do want to support me, I have a PayPal link down in the description. It would be great if you can donate any amount of money. I would really appreciate it. But yeah, other than that, that is basically about it. If you like this video, please make sure to like, share and subscribe, and as always, stay safe. This is Fuzal Ahmed from Mr. Tech Boss, signing off.